than flipping through the freaking channels, eating Cheetos and stuff in your face and getting fatter. Slobs. This Thursday, 7 p.m., June 24th. Check out the Dudes at Wrestling podcast and see yours truly, Andreas John Ziglar, A.J.Z.
Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am your host, Joe Panther Jr., and now introducing to the mic my friend, my partner in crime, the happy heel himself, on this fun fly adventure around the world, the happy heel himself, Metal Geek.
What's going on, Ringside Crew? What's going on, Wrestling World Unknown? What's going on, Internationally Unknown? What's going on? What's going on, Joe? You got a couple announcements for us today?
Oh, yes, we do. We have a show tomorrow at 2 o'clock with, what's her name again?
Costello, right?
Miss Costello will be coming into the Dudes at Ringside Studios at 2 p.m. And, oh my gosh, if you didn't see the Instagram today, I will tell you this now. We are now available on iHeartRadio.
And Podbean.
And Podbean?
Podbean. So for those of you that have Podbean and iHeartRadio.
Another thing, Marauder just said it. Where's the beard? Come on, Adam.
I knew somebody was going to mention that, and it's a simple thing. It's called I shaved.
It's called. Okay, you ready for me to introduce the guest?
Yeah, you want to introduce him? All right.
Sure thing. No problem. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to A.J.Z.
What's going on, guys? Thank you for having me on. Actually, not thank you for having me on the show. I'm making the show. You guys should be thanking me for coming on the show. Dudes at Wrestling podcast.
Yeah. We like that part. Me and Geek are kind of like, wait,
oh, I see. Yeah. You don't care.
Just remember, I'm Mr. I'm little ladies man here, Mr. Joe the Panther Jr. with the Latino heat, man. One scope of the Golden Girl sees Boricua, man. Mr. Panther, she'll leave you and go to this guy. You know what I mean?
Al Snow's gonna love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, we're good. Just hanging out here in the woods.
Hanging out in the woods? There we go.
I'm hanging out in the city over here.
Fantastic.
The suburbs, you know? The suburbs in New York.
There you go.
PA is a good place to come when you want to hang out in the Poconos. That's a nice place to go if you want to hang out in the woods and go on nice hikes.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
Pike County. If our fans are not familiar with you, AJZ, introduce yourself.
If they're not familiar with me, then I would tell them that they haven't been paying attention to wrestling for the last 3 years, because I have been making a name, building a name, and owning the independent wrestling scene, because I am the golden boy. No, I started wrestling in North Carolina about 3 years ago at a school called Firestar Pro Wrestling. And then I continued on wrestling at OVW in Louisville, Kentucky. And now I just wrestle all around and work with New Japan Strong out in LA. And I'm building a name for myself on the indies. You know what I mean?
That's cool. Good. We love here. That's what we love here at AGZ. We love getting these, as some people would say, unknowns. But we find that the unknowns are the easier ones to talk to. But you're not an unknown. People know you because of New Japan Strong. Mm-hmm. And OVW as well. I mean, OVW is not an unknown. It's known practically all over the world because OVW used to be connected to WWE. But a lot of people that I know say OVW, and oh, the research. Ooh, OVW. So, my first question for you, AJZ, is like, what is your workout regimen like?
Workout regimen. I work out 6 days a week. I do pull push legs, which would be like a pulling workout, like deadlifts, rows, pull ups, biceps, and then a push workout, which would be like bench press, dumbbell flies, tricep push down, stuff like that. And then I do a leg workout the last day, which would be like squats, leg extensions, leg curls. And I do each of those things twice a week for 6 days a week, 1 day off.
Sounds like fun.
I stick to mostly the compound lifts throughout most of my training to acquire much more well-rounded approach to my training, not just for physique, not just for strength, but for athleticism as well, so I can have all the interconnected tissue working together to create the best physique possible for what I do in the ring, out of the ring, and with my look.
How did you come up with the Golden Boy gimmick?
I just came up with it by looking in the mirror and saying, I have it all, I can do it all, and I am the best, so why not just put it into words and call myself the modification of what I am, which is the Golden Boy.
Kind of question is that, geek? Come on.
They say there's no such thing as dumb questions. Metal Geek already laid one off.
Yeah.
Stupid question.
I think the Panther finally turns heel and decides hits you with the random super kick.
JRRR is throwing me under the bus right here in front of our guests.
My workout regimen is doing a truck by yourself in the back of a grocery store, mopping floors and doing squats, jumping jacks, and planks. Marauder.
That's good, man. That's a good way to be. I mean, doing those compound things that involve your whole body is a great way to be.
And I'm not a young puppy. I'm 38 years old. I gotta keep this thing going. And I drink lots of water. Like water all the
My workout regimen is just pushing pallets of soda all day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, you know what? Everyone's got their own thing, and if that's yours, and that's yours, I ain't gonna hate.
And I try not to drink this. But I drink a lot of coffee. But I try not to stay away from the soda. The soda's bad. I drink the water.
Oh, we sell water too. So.
But that's
fantastic.
Somebody called it.
Yeah. Water's important. It's a necessity, so we need to have it. So thank you for providing water.
Okay, next Geekin. I already asked my question.
I already did with the Golden Boy gimmick.
All right. Have you been watching anything on Netflix, like TV shows or like movies? You've been
Slasher. Have you guys seen that? It's pretty freaking good. I like it. I watched it recently with my girlfriend. We watched all 3 seasons. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's like a modern day Scream with more of like an adult realism, truthful component to it. You know what I mean? Not as like over the top and hokey. So if you haven't seen Slasher on Netflix, check that out. It's pretty good.
There's a show you definitely have to check out. It's about a kid that has autism. It's called Atypical. Michael Rappaport is the dad. It's a good show. It's heartfelt. It's like you get a chance to see how it is to be a person with autism.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like you live his life. Like he got upset and he's sitting there and he just like something triggers him and he starts freaking out because of the sound or whatever. I was like, whoa. I have a lot of friends that have autism, and I'm like, whoa, oh my God, that's what they have to deal with every day? I'd be ruined.
I love Rick and Morty.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He's a living legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh. You watch Rick and Morty too, or?
Yeah. It's not one of those things that's like every day, but yeah, definitely.
You saw the last one, the premiere, or no?
No.
Nah. All right.
Okay.
So how did you and the Golden Girl meet?
Me and the Gold, we met at OVW. We met I think a couple of years ago now, honestly. At OVW, and we hit it off and stayed latched on since then. So.
Yeah, we messaged her to see if she'd come on, but she didn't get back to us. That would have been cool to get you both at the same time. To get it to
yeah, man, that would have been a whole treat for everybody.
Yeah. We actually have, is it next week, Geek? Yeah, next week we're actually having boyfriend girlfriend wrestling couple coming on the podcast from England.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we got the girl, and she's like, well, on Fridays I'm always with my boyfriend, and I'm like, messaged Geek. I called him. I said, Geek, the girl says she's gonna be with her boyfriend. He's like, then fine. What does that mean? And I messaged, is he a wrestler? And she's like, go look at my page. The first picture is her and him like taking a picture with a rose, and I was like, we gotta get this guy. He's like, why? I mean, he's like a cruiserweight, like flippity doos and fly arounds and backwards dives. And he's like, send me a video. I want to see. And I was like, Dynamite Lee. That's his name in England. Dynamite Lee. He is crazy. Dynamite.
Yeah.
I'm like, if like New Japan saw this kid, they'd be like, how much do you want to wrestle? Yeah, both of them. And it's funny, they do the couple thing. They're in the middle of a field doing like arm bear takedowns and like flip arounds, and I'm like, you go. That's love right there. That's true love. Wrestling in the middle of a field, like doing flippies and stuff like that.
That is true love, or maybe it's just relational therapy. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it.
That's one of my questions I'm gonna have for them. Is that like you guys like? Is that getting stressed out by wrestling each other in the middle of a field?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. That's a question for them. I don't know. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Who's
You go, Geek. Sorry.
who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
Probably Cena.
Cena?
I have like a plethora of people that come off the top of my head, but it'd probably be Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I just loved his what he presented, how he looked, larger than life, his look, his charisma, his attitude, and the stories he was able to tell in the ring, physically, emotionally, verbally, all that stuff. So he was definitely a standout guy for me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You got me, AJZ, because I was thinking you were gonna say Chris Jericho, because your character has like a Chris Jericho way on the mic, and the way you bring things, and the way you talk, and the way you like that was like,
Mr. Perfect too, you know?
Yeah, like a Mr. Perfect style, or like
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, though, he was, because I was born in '99, so he wasn't, really popping when I was a kid. But he was obviously one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time, and an absolute legend. So, obviously, all the respect goes to Mr. Perfect for that. But no, he wasn't one of the people that I watched as a kid. He was popping in, the 90s and stuff like that, which I obviously wasn't around for. But he was one of the best, and definitely someone to learn and watch and admire in a lot of ways. So
it's like, it's one thing to be able to, like my case, I was born in the 80s. Most kids that I know from where I live, I tell them I got a chance to see Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter live. These kids nowadays will never ever say, I went to Madison Square Garden and watched a boot camp match between Sergeant Slaughter and Hulk Hogan, unless they have the network. That's like my thing on the podcast. I'm Mr. Old School on the show, and I've seen some like old school matches like in the Garden. I got a chance to be able to hear Howard Finkel announce "Welcome to Madison Square Garden" in person and not see it on the network. Like that.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Then that's a piece of history that you can carry with you for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
And I also do the voice of the Fink too. So that's my listen to past episodes. That's my thing.
Yeah, I missed the New Japan on the podcast, and I like all the new stuff. So
fantastic. Yeah, man, it's a good blend to be able to take the new school and then the psychology of the old school, in my opinion, and put them together, implement characters into the wrestling, because that's what draws and captivates and gets people invested in your show. And, talk to Al about that when you get him on here. Be like, hey, Al, what's the most important thing? Is it the moves or the person? And he will go on a rant, so probably don't ask him that. But
I'm excited.
It's essential to understand that the most important part in wrestling is selling who you are, why you're doing it, and your intent to win the match as a legitimate, true, honest, and actual competition that two competitors are trying to win to gain, maintain, and hold an advantage over each other to, do something to get themselves closer to fame, fortune, or the title, or whatever it means. But it's not an acrobatic where people are trying to do stuff haphazardly for whatever reason. It's a competition where you're trying to sell a character and who you are to get your point across and to captivate an audience and generate emotion, because emotion is what sells tickets, and history shows that. I'm not saying anything from a place of proclaiming unknown truths. It's just facts. The biggest draws in wrestling are the guys who are able to captivate emotion.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Because you need that person to like to make you entertained. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, you don't watch a movie for the sci-fi features. You watch a movie for the story, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can watch as many train wrecks or airplane fights or battleship crashes, but if there's no story or reason why, it doesn't mean anything. It's about the story.
That's why
the build-up, etc.
That's why it's important for the wrestlers to tell a great story, and it's not just also the wrestler's fault. It's also, it could be storyline fault too, like creative, a lot of the times.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know that, but I do know from learning a lot from, like I said, Al. It's not necessarily creative's fault. They give you a piece of something to work with, and it's up to you to make it into something good. So.
Mm-hmm. That's also true, to be honest, because you could turn, pardon the language, but turn chicken shit into chicken salad.
Yeah. And that's the truth of it, I mean, nobody can be you, and nobody can stop you either. As soon as you go through that curtain, no one can help or hurt you. It's up to you. So it's up to you to get yourself over or not, but you can't look at anyone else for an excuse.
I'm also sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all I had to say. But that's it.
All right. Do you think that the Undertaker's character would work today, or?
Yeah, it did.
I'm saying today, like if someone were to,
they started from the beginning and they just gave some other dude the Undertaker type of gimmick. Do you think it would be like the same back the original Undertaker gimmick with the Paul Bearer and that stuff? I think that's what he meant.
Everything has to evolve. Like Taker evolved his character over the 30 years or whatnot that he was the Undertaker, but the way that he did change it, it manifested each time into something that fit the modern times. So I believe that if the Undertaker were to debut today and have it tweaked towards modern day culture, it would work for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because people want that. When people watch wrestling, the average Mark who watches wrestling isn't your average person who watches wrestling. The average person who watches wrestling isn't a Mark. The average person who watches wrestling is your mom, your dad, your kid who wants to be entertained by two characters. And what are they going to be more captivated by? A bunch of guys doing a bunch of flippies, or a bunch of guys with characters who are telling stories.
Characters.
And getting you emotionally invested and doing something larger than life. Because if you want to see flips, you can watch gymnastics. But if you want to see professional wrestling where they're telling stories, that's where the emotion comes into play, is by having characters. And that's why The Undertaker was absolutely incredible at what he did, was because he was able to be a character that you could describe to your friends, A, B, C, D, E, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to see this guy. He's A, B, C, D, E.
Uh-huh. It checks all the boxes.
Yeah, and he could back it up in the ring. So, you can't really say anything bad about The Undertaker at all. He was absolutely one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time, especially when it comes to.
I'd put him against anybody that's now. Anybody that's in there now, the youngers, like, I don't know, but maybe I'd have the old school Taker take on some of the young dudes. But I could think he could still hold up now against the younger people that are in there.
He doesn't have to do a lot because he's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're over, you don't have to do as much.
And I know they would be honored just to take a tombstone from the Undertaker. Like Cena was probably like, all right, fine. Oh, okay. I'll take a tombstone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think it was like Xavier Woods when he was in the ring with Stone Cold. Like they were all like partying, drinking beers, and like he probably asked Stone Cold before the show, "Can you just give me a stunner real quick in the ring?" So because he was honored.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that most people would be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah. So do you collect anything from when you're going on the road? Like
Not
anything?
really. I'm not really a collecting guy, honestly. So I'm pretty boring on that end. But I don't really collect anything. I'm not a collector. I never have. Probably never will. But it's just not really my thing.
Who like what is one of your favorite matches right of yours? You'd say.
Favorite matches?
Yeah.
Probably my stuff with New Japan.
Yeah.
With Rocky Romero. Excuse me. And Clark Connors. Those are two fun ones.
Uh-huh. What was it like working with Rocky?
Rocky's a ring general. He's been around doing it for a while, so he definitely has his reps in, so he knows what he's doing, where he's going, and how to do it. So Rocky's a good guy to work with for sure.
Do you have any stories of Rocky or?
I don't really know Rocky that well. He's just been able to help me with New Japan and stuff like that. So he's just a good guy. That's all that I know.
As Geek just said, do you have any stories from like the ring or anything? Like stories like other than like training or like from the road, stuff like that?
Man, there's just stories all the time of crazy stuff. I don't know. Nothing really in particular. Something like I broke a bed in Georgia. I woke up and it was just like slanted. I was like, how did this happen? My girlfriend looks at me and she's like, I don't know. And I'm just like, I guess I broke the bed. It must be that heavy. Because the side I was laying on was like this, and the side she was laying on was like up here. So I don't know if that just means that I'm a super heavyweight or if the beds are just the cruiserweights. But crazy that I didn't know that pro wrestlers are coming to town, that's for sure.
Yeah, there was a crazy thing with me and Geek. Oh, there we go. Got a question for the audience.
What was your toughest match?
I had a nice one this couple weeks ago. I got my face busted open.
Yeah, you were telling us about that.
In Chicago, so that was a tough one. But, yeah, every match has its things you learn and take and develop from. But that one was something that pops into mind, obviously.
We love the ring stories here at Dudes at Ringside. That's like, that always makes me go. The next day I'm sitting drinking coffee at the table. My dad goes, "How was the show?" "Good." "Oh, the character said da da da." My dad's like, "What? Really? Wow. Oh, that was a good story." I'll tell him half the story. He's like, my dad watches he watches 1% of the episode and then he'll turn it off. My dad, that you just gave us half a view. YouTube can tell how long you watched the video.
Yeah, YouTube can be like that, but I have a YouTube myself. I think that they always keep changing the way they count things and stuff like that. Because like I think a lot of people would like start like refreshing their page. I remember I had a friend who had a YouTube channel, and you just like click refresh, you know what I mean, to get like 1,000 views. But then they like remove that so that you couldn't do that.
That sucks, because now we can't even get like if we wanted to get like 1,000 views or 1,000 comments, we can't even do that,
Yeah.
I mean, gotta make content that stands out to other people because there's a lot out there,
There's a lot of people that like I've told about the channel, and they're like, "Oh, you have YouTube?" And I'm like, "Yeah." We have Facebook, Twitch, and I go on this long list. It's like feel like 2 hours later, and I'm like, the name of the things we have. Like, how do we find you? Just look up Dudes at Ringside. So it's Dudes at Ringside or in Ringside? No, Dudes at Ringside. Oh, is it the capital D? I'm like, it's.
We just give them the Willow page.
Yeah.
There's a Willow page where it gives you all the links to all the social medias. So
yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I get scared because that's one of the reasons why I got scared, thinking we got our ban because the temporary ban. I'm thinking, was it the link in the message?
No, I think if you guys were just consistently messaging people, it probably banned you for like spam or something like that.
Yeah, but we got our guests.
So, how'd you find out you were working for New Japan Strong? Like, what were you doing? Like, you excited or?
Yeah, I was just sitting backstage at a show, and I was talking to my agent. Just called me. He said you're booked on New Japan. I said fantastic, So I was very excited for sure. It was incredible. So I was very happy about that.
Is there someone? Sorry, go ahead.
Go, geek, go. I'll go after you.
All right. Is there someone you would like to work with in New Japan Strong, or that you haven't worked with yet?
They have a plethora of talent over there. I would like to have something going on with Fred Rosser. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Tom Lawler, that'd be fun too. I mean, they just have so much good talent on that Strong roster. But I just have to see what happens and kind of roll with the punches and see where we go.
Who on the active roster right now for Raw or SmackDown? Who would you want to wrestle and why?
The top guys, Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. If you don't want to be at the top, and get out.
There you go. I like that. Answer.
I thought you were going to say Undertaker.
Yeah, he's not active though. So
yeah.
Next, Keegan.
You go ahead, Joe.
Okay. If you could bring back any manager from the past, it doesn't have to be from WWE or it doesn't have to be from WWE. It could be from WCW or the old WWF. What manager would you bring back to be in your corner for one night only? Who would it be?
maybe Vicky Guerrero.
Ah, Vicky. Oh, God. I can see it now. Oh, God. I can see that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, gosh. Lately, a lot of people would say Bobby the Brain Heenan. Just for one night only, have him in their corner just to give him over for like that 2-night show or like 1-night show. If it's like a Mania, I would have Bobby the Brain Heenan in my corner. I'll just stand there like this and have him just do everything.
That'd be incredible as well. That's a good call.
Or the Slick. Or Slick.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
What was it like working with Alexander Hammerstone?
Hammer's a cool guy, man. We had fun. It was like a little brother, big brother fight. You know what I mean? He's been around. He's done a lot, and he's pretty experienced. So he was definitely a good guy to get in there and put some cool stuff together with. I had 2 matches that day, so I got back from one, and I was like, "Hey, Hammer, what are we doing?" And then we sat down, and I punched him my ideas. He threw some back, and we kind of made something together out of it. So I liked working with him. He was fun.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy too.
I'm trying to think. What is your? Here we go. Oh gosh, you go next. I failed.
Is there anything you learned from someone? It doesn't need to be wrestling. You took with you in wrestling.
Like someone learned wrestling from somebody that I just took with me through life.
Yeah, or wrestling, or vice versa.
Dude, I don't know. Al taught me so much. Probably everything Al's ever said.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm even more excited that Al Snow's coming on our podcast because you're saying so many cool things about Al Snow, and I'm just like, God, I'm so happy we're getting Al Snow.
Yeah, man. Just ask him one question. He'll keep going for like 30 minutes.
That's what I'm going to tell him when he comes on the screen. I'm just praying to God my mom doesn't bring me back to the Ben's Fresh before the Al Snow show, so I'm not like, I got to set up the set. Hi, Sal.
You got to get Rip Rogers on here, too.
Oh, Rip Rogers? Oh,
yeah, that'd be a good one, too, right?
You gotta plug the kids' ears for that, though.
Oh, jeez. Like, he curses a lot?
He can. He's good. He's a great guy, though. He's a great guy.
Our show, you can curse here.
You can say whatever you want.
You can say whatever you want. You can curse. As long as
he's 14 at the least.
Yeah,
he doesn't mince words. You know, he's an incredible guy to listen to, though.
Yeah.
We had Stevie Ray on our show earlier this year, and man, yeah, he was a super cool guy with us. You know, super cool. Right, Joe? I mean,
was
He
cool,
was,
nice. He didn't want to talk an ounce about wrestling.
but he talked about everything else.
Politics, food, rice and beans, collard greens,
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
He
Godzilla's-
loved Godzilla. Yeah.
Oh my god, the Godzilla story he told us was like so like bad but funny. It was sad because he had spent that much money on a Godzilla toy that wasn't even the good Godzilla.
Oh, really?
It was that one that he laid all the eggs in the garden. The one from the late 2000s, the crappy Godzilla. Can't think of which one it was. Godzilla 2000? Is it 2000? 2012 was the one that was really bad.
Oh, really? I don't remember what that is.
It was whatever one it was crap. Yeah, so I'm trying to think. Out of all your achievements in your career, which is so far I would say that would be like your top achievement so far?
Probably wrestling for New Japan for sure.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I know
say,
it's kind of a bland answer, but that's just the truth, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Point blank period, wrestling for New Japan was probably the highest honor so far.
Bum, 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 bum.
did you work in the dojo or you just there?
No, I have not worked in the dojo. I've been there for the COVID testing and stuff, but I haven't worked in the dojo.
I was going to ask you what was it like the experience working in the dojo, but you have
No, yeah, I can't give you that answer because I haven't trained there.
But go ahead, Joe.
So what is it like to be able to like you've been wrestling like since you were what? You said like 14, right?
I started when I was 14, but I wasn't big enough, and I didn't get any real booking opportunities due to my age. So I had to stop and start back again when I was 19 or so.
Oh. That must have been rough on you because you're like, yeah, I want to do this, and then they said, oh, you're not old enough. So you're like,
Well, it's not like someone verbally told me that. I remember I tweeted Bully Ray for advice, and he pretty much just said stop and start when you're 18. And then after just seeing where I was at physically and then where I was getting booked, and not like it was bad places or anything, but just like, I wasn't able to really get matches because it was the fact that I was a minor, So I'd just be doing ring crew security and doing chairs and stuff, which is great. But if you want to be a wrestler and you want to learn how to do it, training needs to come at some point, and I needed more than I was able to get, so I needed to wait till I was 18. So I just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does Dolph try to give you Dolph give you any advice or
Get over.
Get over.
Get over.
Yeah.
That's all you need. That's all that matters, right?
You have to like get over on yourself. Get yourself over the best way you can, so the crowd be like, either yay, we love you, or well, we hate you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It can go one or two ways, or you can just go quiet down the middle and no one says anything. Like,
Yeah, that's if you can hear someone fart in the back row, that's a problem.
That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
No, it's not. You don't want that to happen.
You either want to get like booed really loudly, or you want to get like cheered real loudly, because either way, they're reacting.
Not only that, if they're reacting, they're paying money to see you. And the more butts you put in seats, the more you're drawing, so the more your value goes up, so the more people want to book you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Have you ever wanted to wrestle on the East Coast? And if you did, have you thought of any other promotions on the East Coast you would want to be in?
I've been in talks with Northeast for a while about coming in and doing some stuff, but
that's near me.
Yeah, so if I go there, just pay attention to the posters and see what's going on. My buddy Enzo lives up there, so I'll probably travel up there and do something.
Mr. Amore.
Yeah, Enzo. He's a good guy, man. But yeah, I'd like to work for Northeast and kind of do some stuff up there. That'd be really fun. So I'll just see where that takes me eventually,
Definitely let me know, because if it's near me, I'll tell Geek to get his butt up to my neck of the woods and we'll go to a show, and we'll bring a Dudes at Ringside sticker just for you, so you could post it on, put it on your nice gym bag and be like, see this? These guys are good.
Yeah, man. I'll definitely be doing that. That'd be great.
Or you can step on it if you choose.
Yeah, of course. I don't want that. Throw it away. Put it out. I'll spit on it.
Huh.
What do you think this is? I don't want your sticker.
Charity. Me, as soon as we saw that preview, because there's a guy we're friends with named James Axel, and I'm like, the way you did it, and he was like, I watched it like 3 times just to take it all in because I love watching videos multiple times just to watch them, and I was like, oh my god, did he watch the James Axel promo that he did for us?
No, I did not.
Okay, because this guy's promo was just like he was on the phone, and he was like, they didn't even pay me
to come on here.
And then he was like, "What? I'm live? Oh, come on! Oh, I'm James Axel from me." And he had the glasses on and everything, and he was just all like, "Yeah."
No, that just happened out of nowhere. I just hit it off, and I guess it worked for you guys. Supposedly,
it was awesome. Yeah, I just love it. We were loving that. I was like, yeah. So I'll definitely have to check your posts out, see when you come in there, because there's another wrestler in there. He's a heel, but I would love to see you face him. It's King John Anthony.
I don't think I've ever heard of him, but
he's like an East Coast wrestler, and his character is like a new age, like Jerry King Lawler, but he has everything with him. He has the man that does his announcements. He has a person that does this. And I messaged him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm currently not doing anything with anything right now." And I'm just like, "Oh no, he was hilarious. This guy."
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always cool when people end up being, intriguing in one way or another. You know what I mean?
And when I went to the show, I thought like maybe 1 or 2 people would boo. The whole crowd was like, I'm like, well, he got over. He's really over. Jeez.
Yeah, that you know what? That's always the best scenario when you get some kind of reaction, as you guys alluded to earlier. So
it's like kind of like that Kevin Owens promo. I think it was about 2 years ago, where he found something to piss the crowd off, and they wouldn't stop booing him, which was absolutely. I just started laughing. I thought that was hilarious. By the way, you saw that. Have you seen that promo that where he was with Elias and they were just ripping on, I think, the basketball team or the baseball team? It's like, oh, these guys never won like a series or something like that, and they just he ripped on him the whole 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
He's had a lot of good promos over the years. I don't know if I remember that one specifically, but sounds like it's gonna be a good one. Anytime you hit on that hometown something, you get that hometown heat. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's always good to have that one moment that that when you do that promo and you say something and the whole crowd just lights up with boos, got that.
Yeah. No, I mean that's what you got to do. I like looking at heels as the guys who drive the ship, because if the heel doesn't have heat, the babyface can't get over. But on that same token, if the babyface doesn't get over, the heel doesn't have anything to take away to get heat. So it goes both ways, but it's always fun driving that ship, because the heels usually go out first, kind of setting the tone and kind of getting that heat in there. You know what I mean? Or doing something to at least elicit some kind of reaction, to the point where when they eventually do something to the babyface, or signify some kind of emotion by their look or their attitude, or by backstabbing or something, then you get your heat. But being able to set the tone and drive that ship forward is always important as a heel, I think.
The best story is always the babyface winning the title from the heel.
Yeah, I mean,
that's always
the babyface climb always draws more money than the babyface, having the title, if that makes sense. People like that climb. So the chase is always draws. Daniel Bryan's climb in 2013 and early 2014 before
just about to say that. That was everybody hated Triple H, and that was the turning point right there. They wanted to see Daniel Bryan win, and what did they do? They put Batista and Randy Orton in the main event, And they're like, what about Daniel Bryan? Everyone.
Well, they also what did they keep doing? As
They kept-
heels, they put it in his face and they took it away every single
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
SummerSlam, it even started at SummerSlam. They put it in his face and they took it away.
they
That's
took it
your
away.
Mm.
And they tried to get no payoff out of it. Because
I think they long term had a payoff, even if they wouldn't admit that to everybody publicly.
so you think it was like all work that Daniel Bryan was supposed to get that title match all along, and they were just pushing for it?
I mean, I think they knew where it was going leading into that SummerSlam, and then after it took off circumstantially, they knew that it had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can't deny that.
That was probably like the biggest babyface title win I've ever seen.
It was definitely modern day for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you really? I know we have to wrap it up in a few minutes, but so what do your parents think about your wrestling career when you decided to go become a wrestler?
It's support, but it's it's a different path than a lot of people would take. So there's always that question of what are you doing, where are you going, and how are you doing it. But it's always been supportive.
Okay, that's cool. You get mixed answers with that one. Sometimes it's like, yeah, some of them are like, yeah, they kind of didn't. They were like, yay for me, but they were kind of going, this is not really a path you should go. Sometimes we get a mixed answer for that, and that's why I was like, I wonder what he's going to say.
Yeah.
Once COVID's over, is there any country you would like to visit, or?
I don't know if I have any one in mind, but I think just getting out and doing some international stuff would be fun, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a learning experience being able to see and view and understand different cultures as well. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. I mean, like Japan would be pretty cool to go to, right?
That would be very cool, of course.
Yeah.
You also go to the dojo.
Right.
Check out the Japanese dojo, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they say, oh, you're from that New Japan? Maybe, who knows? They may put you in the Bullet Club. If you go to the one over there, they may say, you seem like a good heel. We'll put them in the Bullet Club. You know what I mean?
You know what? If that happens, then it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But all I can do is do my best and control what I can control. You know what I mean?
Oh, God, I can see your shirt, Muscle Club.
Muscle.
The muscle club.
God, if they do that to you, man, you have to take a screenshot and send that to me. Dude, Joe, you did it.
Yeah, man. Joe, you
The
did.
two muscles like this crossing, like either like this, the skull with skull face, with the big smile on its face with two muscles. Like that.
Or the Golden Girls Club.
You know what? That might be more over.
Yes.
Right.
Have what's her face? The one that's always being mean to everybody has her face as the logo on your shirt. What's her face from the Golden Girls? Oh God. Oh God. I can't think of the character's name from the Golden Girls that everybody likes.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with that, to be honest.
I know. I'm just making a joke. Yeah, Muscle Club sounds cooler.
Muscle Club. We'll stick with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, Muscle Club.
This way we can avoid all the copyrights.
Yeah.
That way we can, absolutely.
Yeah.
That will work. Yeah.
It's all right. So if you have to go, we totally understand.
Thank you so much, by the way.
Yeah. It's about 7. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for having me on the show. I appreciate you guys, sending me the message and, taking the time to ask me questions and listen to what I have to say. And, of course, give me a platform, but I just like to plug a few things. You can find my Instagram and Twitter, which are at AJZiggy1818, AJZIGGY1818. It's right there on the screen. My YouTube is Andreas Ziglar, which is ANDRASZIEGLER. That's ANDRASZIEGLER. You can just find it on YouTube by typing in AJZ as well. My Facebook like page is Team AJZ. I have a Pro Wrestling Tees shop, which is AJZ. And then also you can email me for opportunities at official OFFICIAL ehw@gmail.com. And I'd like to get in touch with you and figure it out and converse and see what we can do. So that's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys for having me on the show and giving me an opportunity to spiel all my stuff here at the end.
You could always come back, you know.
Well,
Absolutely, and pass my my greetings on to Sir Al. And
We will. We definitely will. Yeah.
we'll definitely tell Al you say hi.
Absolutely. But yeah, thank you guys for having me on the show, and I appreciate the opportunity, and keep me updated, and I'd love to come back on at some point. So thank you
All right.
guys.
Thanks a lot. All right.
Take it easy. Have a good one.
Take it easy.
That was cool.
That was a great show. Yeah.
Not that long, but we did. Hey, what's going on, fans? The show's over, but you came in at the end.
Everyone came in at the end. Oh well. But so remember, everybody, we're now actually on Podbean and iHeartRadio. So remember.
Yeah, thanks to my boss Junior, because he told me about that, and I was like, no, we're not on iHeartRadio. I went outside. Yeah, iHeartRadio. Another reason, at my job at Key Food, they're now playing iHeartRadio, and I went over today and I said, guys, is there any way you can get into the iHeartRadio at Key Food and stick me on there just to see if Junior notices? No message. If anybody's watching this podcast from Key Food, do not do that. do not do it for one day, but don't do it. I don't want to get in trouble for my boss. My boss, Joe, why are you on the prompter and at work? I don't know. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. I swear I don't know how to get to that. But Geek, say your goodbyes.
All right. So I just wanted to say, everyone, we're now on Podbean and iHeartRadio. You can follow us on HTTP streamlabs.com/dudes@ringside, HTTP/dudes@ringside. And I'm going to take it away to Joe.
Well, as I always say, definitely go on Wrestle with AJ's Pro Wrestling. I gotta get that word down. Pro Wrestling Tees, and buy all your indie T-shirts.
How many shows have you been doing, Joe? And you can't get Pro Wrestling Tees, right? Come on, man.
I would say Pro Wrestling Tees and go buy your T-shirts. Buy indie wrestling. Even though everything's opening right now, still need to buy your shirts because they still need help. They still need our help, guys.
And by the way, you're not going to be on Botchamania. You're going to be on Meme Mania pretty soon.
Yeah, go on and buy your T-shirts because they're still struggling and they still need fans. So go, and always just remember, thank you to my grandfather, thank you to my cousin, Pete Sanchez, and thank you to Frank Martinez, the Blue Demon, for lighting the way for all Latino wrestlers. See you tomorrow, guys. See you at 2 o'clock.